Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Healthy Eating for Busy Women podcast. For those of you guys who are new here, my name is Kat. I have been coaching women to naturally healthy eating, long-term weight loss, and the results they want with their body for the past 8, 9, almost 10 years now. And I am here to help you make this all a bit easier. I think in my own journey with healthy eating and weight loss, I ended up taking a lot of time and energy and money that I didn't need to be wasting and putting it into solving this problem. And so my mission is to help you solve this for the last time. So you stop wasting all of those resources, you start taking action, and you leave this struggle in the past. So what we're going to talk about today is what exactly is holding you back from your dream body? And I want to be really real with you guys. I am not planning on making this a very fluffy episode. That is not my intent for any episode, but I really want to talk about this in a solid way. I don't want to have us stay on a surface level with this topic where we're talking about just our surface level excuses for not eating healthy, not prioritizing the body we want, where we're blaming things like time, our energy, what our family, our dog, whatever it is. I want to get to the real stuff today. I want you to establish why actually do you not have the dream body that you want? Because here's something that I think is not talked about enough, is how much better your life will 1,000,000% be when you can exist in your most comfortable body, your most ideal health, weight, all of it. That picture you have, because I know you have it. I know you have this image that you've always had probably for years or the majority of your life, where you know how much easier life would be if you felt your healthiest, if you looked your healthiest. And this is something that I think a lot of us women or people are afraid to talk about, because a lot of people will judge us for this, right? They'll say, well, you're already beautiful as you are and you don't want to shame yourself. And oh my gosh, look great. Why would you ever want to change your body? So that's one end. And then on the other end of the spectrum, right? People will maybe judge you and say, that's not healthy to focus on wanting to change your body. We're not going to do that here. We actually address nuances here. And what we want to establish is that you reaching your healthiest body would do nothing but make your life better. And if you are here with me, what I know about you is you do want to do that in the most healthiest, sustainable, long-term way. And all of those things can be true. And so I want us to get really real together in the safest space and establish why actually has this not happened yet? Because the reality is, and I know it's a tough pill to swallow here, life is way too short. And most of us have probably gone on way too long without having the body that we're most comfortable in, which would make every aspect of life feel more peaceful, more easy, more free. We'd be able to show up more confidently. And what I want to offer you is I want you to become intolerant to living a life anymore without being in that state, knowing you could be in that state, not from a place of hustle or a place of shame, but from a place of being so real and authentic. I do not want to spend another day not actively working towards the most comfortable, healthy body I know I can have, because that is time wasted. That is leaving your happiness and fulfillment on the table. So all of this in mind, because I know that's what you want, I want us to get really real from a safe space and consider, why do you honestly think, without judgment, you have not created this result yet? And I want you guys to assume, let's assume together from total maturity, it's not about time, it's not about energy, it's not that you can't make it happen right now. You can make this happen right now. So why isn't it happening? This is the real stuff. And let's say we are aware of all of our excuses and we haven't created it yet. What's holding you back? Because here's what I want to say. What I'm not saying is that we're going to look at what's holding you back and invalidate it and say you shouldn't be making any excuses. That's the surface level approach that some people will take with us. What I'm saying is, let's uncover it right now and look at it in the face with total clarity so we know that's what we're working with. That is actually the mental block that is between me and the results I want. Because what I want you to know, I've coached hundreds of women through this, all of it. It is not anything tactical or tangible that is holding you back right now. It's not circumstances in your life like time or resources or whatever it is. It's a mental block. And we've got to see what it is so clearly so you can stop letting that keep you stuck. Because once you know what your block is, now you have the power to address it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you the biggest blocks I have seen in coaching women for almost a decade. And what I want you to know is if you do not have the results you want right now, right? One or all of these will apply to you. If you're like me, all of them would have applied to me. They most likely will apply to you as well, all of them, but I want to offer that at least one will. So the very first mental block that comes up for why we're not creating this result now, despite how amazing we know it would be, is that you don't want to fail. You have an intolerance to failure. And we've got to unpack for a minute what failure actually is, because here's what you probably think it is. You think failure is something that can tangibly happen that is shameful, that is negative, that is tarnished, where if it occurs, it would mean something negative about you. So some things that some of you would identify as failure is gaining weight back, right? Is overeating, is not being consistent with a food plan. You will have a moment that occurs, whether it's scale going up, whatever it is, and in your mind, you will believe you failed. But I want you to pay attention to what I'm saying, because the concept of failure and why this is keeping you stuck is it's not tangible. It only exists in your head. What happens is you have human error that is going to happen. I don't care what results a person has, anyone, myself, whatever. Failure is a part of it. Setbacks are a part of it. Human error is a part of it, right? But what you are identifying as failure is a judgment problem. Because what happens is the moment you have normal human error come up, where you overeat, the scale goes up a little bit, whatever, one step back, you turn it into 10 steps back where we sabotage because now we judge ourselves and think, I am a failure. So if the concept of not wanting to fail is keeping you stuck, let's rephrase this. It's not actually that you don't want to fail. It's that the moment you have human error, you're going to shame yourself into sabotage. Because human error, you will make it mean, I can't do this. I'm not capable. I did it wrong. I should have done that better. And you guys, I did all this too, right? But this is why you are not creating this result with your body that you change your life. Because you have been conditioned to build skills, lose weight, change your habits in a way that shames you. And here's the thing, this happens with all women who join my programs. You are not going to show up and not have setbacks. You're not going to show up and not quote unquote fail and do it wrong. You're going to do it wrong all over the dang place. And that's okay, because you're going to be building skills. What you're going to stop doing that will keep you in the progress is you're going to stop associating normal human error with shame. And that is what's going to need to happen. So if right now, the reason why you are not creating this result with your body that you change literally everything in your life, and if that reason is because this hits you and you don't want to fail, actually, the worst case scenario is that you don't want to feel shame. You don't want to feel shame when a normal setback or human error moment or moment of learning happens, right? And we've got to make sure that that's not holding you back, because the only way you're going to get to this extraordinary version of you in your life is to change your relationship to a setback. And that's where healing needs to occur. If this is something you really struggle with, come get coached by me. I'll coach your face off. I can help you. But consider this. We've got to change that relationship to failure. The next one that comes up a lot, the reason why you are not creating this result now, and this is kind of related. You don't want to do it wrong. All right. So this is where a lot of you are perfectionist procrastinators here, like me. And you want to know the right way to do everything before you take any action. This is where a lot of us become type A'ers and intellectuals, because actually we don't take a lot of action. We just learn a lot of things, and it's how we cope. It's how we feel productive. We'll feel like we're getting closer to a goal when really we're not any closer than we were a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, because we didn't do anything with what we learned. So a lot of you guys are learning a lot about health, nutrition, weight loss, fitness that you'll never even take action from. You don't even need it to have the results you want, but you end up being really smart with nothing to show for it, which I can tell you is an identity crisis in itself. And I know that's something you guys will understand, right? But really make sure that you notice if you're not wanting to do it wrong, because you're looking for the exact equation, the exact puzzle piece that will make sure that you don't fail, that you won't have a setback. So many of you are trying to get the A to Z answers for how your entire journey will work out, when that's not the case for anyone's body journey or weight loss journey or health journey. You have a unique body, and you're going to have to learn how to work with it individually through skills. And no one's going to be able to give you a blueprint, you guys. That's not what I'm doing, and that's not what anyone should be doing. I really want to say this. If there's any health specialist or coach or whoever who is giving you an A to Z estimation of what your journey will look like, they're lying. It's not going to work out that way. And I say that helping hundreds of women with their weight loss and seeing their A to Z journey. Here's what I offer, so there's no confusion. I do have a process. I have a 4-step process that will teach you how to get from where you are now to the end result. But I say this all the time because this is the nuance. When you become my client, it is not your job to fit into my process. The reason why I, as the coach, exist is I am here to help the process fit you and your needs, preferences, and goals with food. The process is meant to be a structure, give us some guidelines, but then we're going to have to figure out what your version of weight loss and healthy eating is and your healthy body by trial and error to see what works for you and see what doesn't. So what I'm saying here is you can't spend time trying to make sure you do it right when that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I know those of you who are listening are like me, and you're probably one of the most intelligent people in most rooms you walk into. You know a lot about health, you have a high interest, but that means nothing about having the results you want. And I had to humble myself too. You do not want to be someone in your life who is an expert at being interested in having your ideal body. You want to be someone who has your ideal body. Those are completely different identities, right? So rather than knowing more, I want you to put a period at the end of that if you notice this block, and instead start taking action and being resourceful. But this is something needing to know the right way, and that's why you're not just picking up this result now and creating it when your life would be so much better. This can keep you stuck for life and not having this result, and that's what I don't want for you, of course. The last big thing is that you likely question if this is possible for you. This makes sense. If we have not created a result yet, we won't believe it's possible. And I think we really need to normalize this. This is how the brain works. When the brain doesn't have evidence of something before it happens, it's going to offer you doubt, suspicion. It's going to invalidate the goal. This is supposed to happen. The brain is a computer. It only goes based off of the evidence it has, which is really faulty, because if the evidence we have had and gathered over our life is that we won't create this result, then it's going to build up more doubt, of course, right? But what I need you to understand is that your brain is a computer. It's not the truth. It's not logic. It is completely separate from the math of the situation. And the math of the situation right now is that there is an ideal goal body that you have that would improve your life. And there is no evidence right now that is true, that is logical, that you cannot create that. You don't need to be perfect. You do not need to pressure yourself or hustle yourself. The stakes are really low. You just have to take action and get the right tools and get the right coaching. But you will have a brain that emotionally and very primitively compels you to believe that that is not possible. And logically, that makes zero sense. It's valid that it's there. I have doubt all the time, even with all the evidence that I know what I'm doing. You guys, I do this for a living and my brain still doubts. But the only reason why I'm able to maintain and have results in my life despite that doubt is I know that doubt is not a logical problem. It's an emotional problem in my body. That is natural because that's the way our brains work. They are tricky. So I want you to acknowledge with all of these areas of resistance where you might not want to fail, you might want to make sure you do it right, you maybe question if it's possible. Be real about it. You do not have to hide from the areas of resistance. Declare openly right now. Maybe you're in your car alone or I don't care if you're with people, whatever it is, be weird and say, I am afraid that this is impossible. I am afraid to fail. I am afraid that I'm going to do it wrong. That's okay, but it doesn't mean you are that fear. It just means we're acknowledging it. And we've got to acknowledge something before we can stop letting it keep us stuck. We have to call it by its name. What I want you to know is if you're listening to this podcast still, you're still with me in this episode, you do somewhere believe that this is possible for you, or you wouldn't be listening to this. You do somewhere think that you don't have to do it right all the time, logically. Somewhere you do believe that failure is going to be required. You understand what I'm saying here. So you also have evidence that goes against your doubts, that goes against your fears. But we're just being swallowed up by our resistance because we're not acknowledging it and where it lives and how often it's happening. Call out these resistances more, put them on the table, look at them with love and understanding, but stop letting it keep you from the life with your body that you deserve right now. I'm not even kidding you guys how much energy I save and my clients save by not having this as a problem to solve anymore. And this doesn't imply perfection. It's interesting because actually in my mid-30s right now, there are some fitness goals I have and some toning goals I have. And when I tell you no emotional energy is being spent on this because I know what to do, I have this problem solved, I don't indulge in resistance, and I take action. Simply, this is a brain problem that is holding us back. And so that's what we need to make sure we are addressing so you can become a woman who knows how to have these results in your life and solve for them without fuss, not someone who dabbles in solving for them because there's resistance that we're not addressing. I was there too. It's where all of my clients start. There is no shame, but we've got to get you to that other side. So, moral of the story today, stop avoiding the reason why you haven't gotten this done yet. Courageously declare what that is. And then ask yourself, what am I protecting myself from by not losing this weight yet? What is it? Maybe it's shame, because that's your version of failure. Maybe it's inadequacy because you think you need to do it right. Maybe it's doubt because you think it's not possible yet, which makes sense. That's what the brain tells us. What are you avoiding? Because that answer is going to bring you so much clarity and peace, honestly, because then you can just clearly see what is holding you back, and now you can overcome it if you're willing to do that. So my friends, if you're not inside my Own Your Eating Habits membership yet and you want to solve this for the last time, get in there. It's an incredible community. We are removing the weight, no pun intended, from this area of your life and helping you live in this ideal body that would improve every aspect of your life. So go to katrentis.com/membership, link in show notes, and make sure you join us today. I can't wait to support you very soon. I will see you in a future episode. Love you and have a great rest of your week.